Hello, this is Tom with Kerr Consulting, and I'm going to walk through prepayment processing or placing a sales order on hold until you receive a prepayment from a customer. So in X3, that is driven through the customer payment terms or the actual payment terms you put on the sales order. So typically, a customer is going to have a default payment terms, and they could be net 30 days or something like that. Um, But then you can create different payment terms that require prepayment until X3 to hold the sales order until payment is made by the customer. So right now I'm looking at the payment term table in X3. This is under Common Data, BP Tables, Payment Terms. And the most common payment term is the net 30 days. So if you look at this record right here, you can see in this line right here is where you drive how the customer is required to pay. And you can see in the situation they were supposed to pay by a check, 100% is due on 30 days. So you can create multiple records on these payment terms to have multiple payments by a customer. That's not very often, but sometimes you give a large order or a custom order, you might require a customer to put a down payment, a partial down payment, and then pay the rest like 30 days after the order is delivered. So here's an example of a split payment. So you can see 20% here is a prepayment. There's 0 days involved. They're due on the date of the order. And then you have another 80% of the order amount is due 30 days after the invoice date. So that's how you create split terms. But we have a special one down here called prepayment. US prepay is our terms. And our payment type is prepayment. And this is what's triggering X3 to hold the sales order until we receive a payment. So this is special terms. You might apply this to some customers. If you've had trouble with the customer paying before, you might require prepayment all the time from them. So then you go to the customer record and then change their payment terms from net 30 to US prepay. But other times, if they place a order for like custom filters and you want to make sure they pay for the custom filters before you start cutting up and taping together filters, then you would assign this prepay terms just to the sales order. So let's walk through that process. So I go into a sales order window and I create a new sales order. Let's use the Austin site because I know I have stock there. And I go in and I assign or choose a customer number. Everything gets pulled in from the customer record, the default ship to address, the sales rep, and my payment terms. You can see right here my default payment terms for that customer was net 30 days. Well, I can pop up my payment terms window and I can choose prepay for this order. I can come down here and put my product in. I'll choose a PLA product just as an example. And we're going to sell them 8 of those. Save that. So our order total with tax is $12.21. So I'm going to go ahead and create the sales order. But remember, the key to this is I change the payment terms to US prepay. So I'll go ahead and create the sales order. So that's done. And now there is one more step I need to do. So if I go click on my action card, come under options and click on prepayments, you can see this is an entry that made by X3 because I know the payment type was prepayment, so it populated this whole window. But there's one step over here. This prepayment has to be validated, for a better term. It has to be issued is what X3 is calling that. So it's like validating a transaction or posting a transaction. It's actually creating that open item, and that's what it's called in X3 to receive the payment. Now this can be set up to do this issuing automatically. The batch server can run and create and issue these prepayments automatically all the time. So that's what I would recommend that we do is change that. Otherwise you'd have to come in here and you have to click on issuing. Because if I don't do this last step, if I don't click on issuing, the sales order is actually not blocked. So that's why I think the batch server running this every few minutes would be appropriate. So I'm going to go ahead and click on issuing. Nothing really happened on the screen. I have to close this. And if I go back in, you can see issued is now yes, and issue date is today's date. So I'll go ahead and close this again, close my action card. But now watch what happens. If I go and try to deliver this document, X3 will not let me create the delivery. Prepayment not paid, I can't do that. I can't create a picking ticket for this either. Prepayment not made. So this order is going to sit here until I get a payment posted to X3. And then I can go ahead and ship the sales order 26. So we created sales order 26 for $12.21. And until we get $12.21 posted to this sales order, we can't deliver this or pick this order. So let's go in and actually do that. So let's go to payment processing. Let's just do a check receipt on this. Remember, this was sales order AUS 26. So I'm in my check receipt screen. Create a new check receipt. This was Austin. HEB 070 was my customer. I have to choose a bank. I'll just choose Chase Operating. It was 1221 was our amount. If I go look at the open items for this customer, since I did that issued the prepayment, now I have that sales order in my list of open items that I can pay against. So if I want to choose this sales order and enter my payment, I just click right there. It fills in the line for me. I can go ahead and save this prepayment, save this check receipt. So now I have the $12.21 posted in the system, but I have to go ahead and make a bank posting, and then that sales order will be released. So the check is in there. So at the end of the day, I'm going to do my bank posting. And this is the automatic bank posting. Let's do the manual to see how that works first of all. So let's go to our menu, APAR accounting. Let's go down to remittances and do a manual remittance entry. Create a new one. Austin, it was our Chase Operating Bank. Here's all the open payments that are not posted yet. And that was a check. So here's the receipt that we just posted. It should be 1221. Yes, it is. So there's all our open checks. We only have one. We put it on our batch. We go ahead and save this batch. And we do the batch in this situation so that all our checks for the day are submitted or posted to the GL as one total, because that's how it should show up on your bank statement once you do your bank statement a month end. So let's go ahead and post this. Now that our payment is posted in the GL and that open item is now closed, that sales order is now available. So what I am going to do is, that was Austin 26, go to the next page here, change this so that we move off of that and refresh this record. And now if I click on delivery, it should go into my delivery record. Now it's not letting us ship this because we have a shortage for that product, but it's not the prepayment that's blocking it anymore. The blocking is just we don't have enough stock to actually ship right now. Shipment not created, there's nothing. We don't have any of those PLEs in stock, I guess, so we can't ship anything. So I'll go back to it. But the point is now that the sales order 26 is no longer blocked by prepayment because we have received our prepayment. And I can check that if I'm a salesperson or at the front desk and want to track this and know whether it can be picked and delivered to the customer. I can go back to the sales order, click on prepayments, and if I come over here to the end of this, I can see how much has actually been paid in the system. So I can see $12.21 has been posted as a payment to the system, and so I know how much is out there and whether the customer's payment has been processed yet. So go back and close this. So that is how you process prepayments in Sage X3.